Hey, it's Keisha Cole, and you're watching Entertainment Reporter. Stay tuned. Okay. The inspiration was, I don't know, just, I really don't go in with inspiration. Like, I just go in and sing what's on my heart at the moment. And I guess I recorded half the album before Gibb and I both met. And so, yeah, I always say I wasn't really that optimistic about finding love. And I had kind of just, like, given up on it for a second, and I decided to just work and, you know, do my thing. So at the end of the album, that's kind of when we met, and then a couple of different songs and ideas and emotions came out with that. So I mean, it's two sides of the story with the album. Well, as a woman, I grow every day, so of course, you know, my perspectives on relationships, on love, on life changes, and I think my writing reflects that as I grow. But also, my child has really made a great impact on me as far as how much I care about other people's children. You know what I'm saying? Like I told Gibb, I was like, now I see why people go off in the stores when they had their kids. Like, don't be coming at my kid like that. Like, seriously, you know what I'm saying? Because I heard somebody with my child, you know what I'm saying? But that, now I can understand how parents feel about their children. And when children get hurt out there, it made me kind of emotional. Even when I was writing a song called Sometimes on my album, I kind of wrote that because at the time, the baby Chantel, she had got and raped and sodomized, and the woman sold the guy, and they were going into the hotel, and I mean, I just cried, and I called Stephen Hill from BET, and I called Kenny Babyface Edmonds. I said, please, what can we do about this? Oh no, I think that's what music is all about. I think that is the reason why there's singers and people out there that express themselves artistically through their music, is because it allows you to be a voice. So you no, I think like the more personal it is, the better the album to me personally. So I mean, I try to write with that perspective in my head too, that, you know, the more honest I am, the better the song.
With your industry experience now, what would you say are some of the most difficult parts about being an artist and putting yourself out there?
The misconception of different things, because you're not, like, Twitter is so wonderful now, because you can just go on there and just, like, say whatever you have to say, and, you know, I mean, put whatever on the streets that you need to put out there. But just not understanding that we are human also, and that some days, you know, I mean, we go through things just as well as anybody else, and sometimes they're cruel to the fact of understanding that. And you know, I mean, you have to take it the way it is. So unfortunately, that's just, you're here, you're an entertainer, and sometimes people, you know, you just have to go for it, because they sometimes don't understand, but it, you know. Well, you know what? When I first went in the studio with Timbaland, and he played a bunch of beats, and I was just like, because at the time, him and Drake had that song, what was the name of that song? It was one of my favorites at the time. Just Say Something, Baby. And I love that. I just love the feeling and the emotion. I was like, I need some emotional, like that kind of Timbaland. You know what I'm saying? And then he said, well, I got this song. I don't know if you might like it or not, but, you know, if not, we could just bang out 3 or 4 of them. It don't even matter. But, you know, listen to this one. Tell me what you think. And then he played it in a set of songwriters were there, and they had written it. I wrote the second verse, but they wrote pretty much all of the song. And I thought it was so dope, because I remember at one time where, you know, I was going through a breakup, and I said, you know what, this is just not gonna work. Like, it's not gonna work, and the more I try to make it work, the more it hurts. And, you know, so I had to just, you know, have a couple of those hangover nights and just face it as much as I could face it. And yeah, got over it. So that was my last hangover. Okay.
Thank you.
There's so many answers to that question. It's really so many answers to that question. First of all, with me having my son, you know, a lot of people thought that, like, okay, she's, like, chilling, and I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so working. We built the studio into the crib in Cleveland, and, you know, I recorded pretty much every day. But I thought the album was dope, and also, you know, I mean, I had to shut a lot of things down that started to happen in the industry, and, you know, people are yearning still for that sound, even though Keyshia Cole's not here to give it. So, yeah, I had to come get my spot back.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's what is different about this album, I would say. If, in fact, I can say that being hurt by somebody that you love so dearly, that you're in a relationship with, really is painful. But like, I've said this while I was pregnant. I said, being hurt by my family, it was worse than that pain. You know, and it I don't know. I'm sure that we'll, you know, me and my family will get better, and we'll, you know, come together again and make everything right. But it's, you know, it really did hurt at the time, and especially me being pregnant and me just wanting the best for them, and it not being what they wanted for all of us in our relationships. It kind of reflected on my music a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I was kind of like going through it, like, why? You know what I'm saying? And then I was pregnant, so I was extra emotional. But I mean, you know, I still love them so much, and you know, I love my nieces, and I love my mom, and I hope she gets better. And we're just taking one day at a time. But I had to be honest with, you know, my fans and with people that's also watching my career, and not only just them. You know what I'm saying? So, no, thank you. I appreciate it. Everything. Every day is a lesson. But, you know, pretty much from the beginning, I learned that to sign your own checks, you know, and, yeah, business managers is kind of, you know, I mean, they take care of your business, and they pay your bills and make sure that you're doing all of, getting that all in on time, because, of course, while you're working and doing all your things, you can't really take care of that business side of it. So you have them, but as far as you like signing my checks and knowing what kind of money I got in my accounts, that's not really your business until it's time to do taxes. So, I mean, that's just the way, that's really the majority of it to me, is like making sure my money is wherever it needs to be, and I'm the only one that knows that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is cool, you know. My management, we're all good, and, you know, people at the label, we're straight. I never feel really disrespected or anything like that. Although I will say, I wanted to do "Make Me Over" for the last album, and they really didn't want to go there with.
Well, they just Make Me Over.
I wanted to do that video so bad, and I had worked out so much, and I swear I did. Not, you know. But they felt like, I think at the time, like, you already have who you are down pat. Why try to go and do a whole nother different thing? And I said, like, as a woman, we have to, like, I have to grow. You can't confine me to one thing. And I remember telling Step Johnson, I don't know if he's at Interscope anymore, but one of my close friends, like, he was there when I started, but I told him, I said, Step, you, all right, I'm gonna mess around, I'm gonna go have me a son or something, a child, like, you can't, you know, I'm bored with this, you know what I'm saying, like, I've already did so much of that type of music, I need to switch it up a little bit. And he said, we know, but Keyshia, you know, they just want to hear this from you. And I said, all right. I tried to tell him, and I had to go have my baby to add some kind of different, you know, I had a new foundation now. So, I mean, it's wonderful. Dramatically beautiful. And I, you know, I'm so blessed to have him. I said God always comes on time, because at that time, like, I was going through that with my family and everything, you know, and I was so hurt from it, me being pregnant and just coming to terms with myself and understanding that, you know, I'm having a baby now. So now I have to give my child everything that I wanted my mom to give me that I didn't receive. And his father is going to be here, and we're engaged, and we're going to be married, and, you know, God put so many things in your life for a reason, and just take heed to it and be thankful. And so many things came that was like, it was bad, but then it was so many good things that came that just made me realize a lot about who I am, about my fans, about you guys being here, about how many blessings it is to actually have made it this far, even though a lot of things were happening that was kind of hurtful to me. It made me appreciate the good things. So he was a blessing all wrapped in one. Calling All Hearts. Well, I think, like I said, it was written from not being so optimistic about love and kind of really giving up on it, and then it was the perspective of being in love. And I think to my fans, to the people that follow me and understand how far I've come, I think, like I told Gibb this morning, he called in to Ricky Smiley's show and said that, you know, you're the most beautiful woman, and just represented like our relationship and just showed how much, you know, he loved me and how much I love him. A lot of people just don't do that. And I said, I called him, I said, I thank you for that, because a lot of women follow me. And a lot of us feel like these men ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But you changed my perspective, and hopefully we can change their perspective, because it is a lot of guys out there that want to do right by their woman and represent their woman the way that they should be represented. And the same goes for the women to the men. And because I know I'm going to hold mine down for life. You know, you'll never see me cheating on him or doing anything I'm not supposed to do. I carry myself unladylike, representing us. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel, I told him thank you for that, because a lot of people do look to me and see my life as an example of hopefully the way that they can, you know, have it, especially coming out the hood. But I will tell you that Faith did. Faith Evans had a huge influence on that song, because I've always wanted to do a thank you song. But Faith had one on her album called Faith. I think that was the album that she had thank you on there. And I used to sing it when I first started out, and I used to incorporate that in my shows after I'm going down. And you know, I've always wanted to do it, and I think that, you know, I am very thankful to God, and I know exactly the day that he actually heard my cry and said, I feel like he said personally to me, all right, I'm gonna give you a shot. Okay, now what you do with it is what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? And I thank him all the time when I don't know what to thank him for, or when I don't really ask him for much. But when I thank him, I thank him for that day particularly. I say thank you for hearing me that day, because I know you heard me, and I feel like we have a great relationship, and I just want to say thank you for that.
Okay. Okay.
All I want is to give away a couple of different things to a couple of different cities. Last year, I think, or the year before, I did Philly, and I did New York, and I did Oakland, and I just gave $10,000 to each market, and I think the label matched every $10,000 I give. So hopefully this year, I said the more successful I get, the more cities will be added on.
Okay.
So hopefully that tradition continues.
Okay.
But I think it's just so much bigger than that. I think that, like, especially, I mean, me being from the hood and being one of those kids that sat by the tape cassette box and listened to Mary J. Blige and rewind and fast forward and rewind and fast forward and rewind, and Shantae Moore and Brandy and Monica, you know what I'm saying, and Faith Evans, and, like, you know, listening to those singers and seeing how much I got from them myself personally. And I know it's people out there that may feel the same thing about me. I want to create the best example for them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course I have to live my life and make my mistakes, of course, and learn from them just like anybody else. But I always think in my head, like, what if somebody is watching? Who's watching? You know, who can learn from this? Like, and I mean, that's mainly my concern. Just seeing her perform. I mean, you know, like the second time I seen her after that, I went to a show and I cried. Like, and I went backstage like, why am I crying? And she's like, Keisha, what's wrong? I'm like, girl, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm cool. Like, I'm chilling. She's like, what's up? I'm like, I don't fucking know. It's you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you. It's just you. And now I understand. Like, when girls come up to me and be like, oh my God, Keisha, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, your reaction is to go, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, why are you crying? But now I understand that. And with me having that influence from Mary, now I see when people do it to me, it's like, wow, okay, I got to do something with that. I can't just let that linger out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as much as I can do with that, I will try. But like I said, I gotta live my life and I make my mistakes. So don't take it, you know. But I do try. I'm saying, like, that's one of the reasons why I always wanted to move to Atlanta. When I first came here when I was 17, I was like, oh, I'm moving there. I'm gonna get me a house there one day. And that happened, so I was, you know, excited about that. But it's beautiful. I just think the weather is gorgeous. And it's not, I mean, it's kind of like, the humidity is great. I'm that kind of girl, so I think it's dope. You know, everything, like I said, everything, my friends, my family, my fiance, my fans, I go extra hard. I just can't help it. I just, you know, I love to love people, you know what I'm saying? And I care, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember those nights where I had nothing at all. So to be so blessed, it's like, you know, it makes me go extra hard. But I mean, I got a hard demeanor. I do. I got a hard demeanor. Like, people think I don't give a damn. And yeah, I'm just extra hard, but I'm really, really not. Like, it's just, you know, so many times being hurt, you have to
Build an exterior.
Yeah, you have to develop that shield, and then, you know. But I'm absolutely broken down with my fans. I have no shield at all. So that's why I think, like, sometimes I get hurt. But I'm good, you know. I'm ready for whatever. Stay at it. Stay at it and continue to do you. At the end of the day, you have to satisfy yourself. And no matter who loves you and no matter who likes you, you have to love yourself and understand you as a woman. And I think I'm doing pretty good with that. But you know, keep it up. Girl Keisha Cole, and you're watching EntertainmentReporters.com. Stay tuned.